Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Jonathan Friedman in the studio, joined by my next guest, Stacey Friends from Roberto Israel and Weiner. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. Nice to have you in the studio.
You too. Thanks for having me back.
It's always a pleasure, our friends at Roberto Israel and Weiner. If you want to talk a little bit about your practice and about the firm in general, and then we can get into, I know, a topic that you want to talk about. You want to talk about branding and how companies protect themselves. But why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about the firm?
Sure. So the firm is a general business firm. We do corporate work, technology, licensing, intellectual property, general commercial litigation, and trust and estate. And a banking group too. So
full
wide
service.
range. Yeah, kind of full service. And we're a small firm, so we're it's just great people there. Seriously.
I can honestly concur,
Yeah.
having known many of the people over there and worked with many of them. Great group of attorneys.
Great people and really very business oriented. You know, we obviously are lawyers. We're doing the legal work, but we're also we also have our eye on the business aspects to any transaction that we're doing. So it's a great place to work. And what my practice is trademark and copyright. And the copyright side of the practice is similar to entertainment law. Basically, it's a lot of licensing in the area of works that are covered by copyright. The trademark side is I think what we're going to talk about today, because there's some sort of burning issues in my practice right now with branding and choosing brands and how trademark law affects that.
So why don't we open it up with you talking a little bit about it, about branding, and generally these are often new businesses or established businesses that come to you with a need, or they're exposed in some way, I assume. Is that a fair assumption that they have not protected themselves in some capacity? Right.
It's really all over the map. I have businesses that come to me that have been in business for a long time, and so they all of a sudden have, usually there's some issue. There's a conflict of some kind, and they realize they have to do what they needed to do to register the mark and protect it and maybe deal with this enforcement issue. Or it's a new business that has a brand new trademark or brand. It could be an older business that has some new product or service of some kind that they want to call something different, or they have a new logo. So there's many different reasons why people come to me.
I hate to throw you a curveball early on in the discussion, and hopefully it's not one and you can say if you don't, but I'm imagining that the statistics are relatively low for businesses that actually do register their brands and copyright things. I don't know if there's any national statistics available, but my guess is it's an afterthought for a lot of businesses.
That's a really good question. Yeah, I think certainly for companies of any size, it's done. It's sort of on the checklist. Form your LLC, clear your brand, which we'll talk about, and register it. For smaller businesses, maybe family-owned businesses, I think it is an afterthought or not thought of at all. They have it and they just use it. Thankfully, in this country, you do have trademark rights just based on using it. So you don't.
So based on duration or first in type thing.
Yeah, senior user, first user. Yeah, first user wins. So that's helpful. It's not helpful, though, if you end up having an issue, like somebody else using the mark somewhere else and there's a risk of consumer confusion. Then it's really helpful to have the registration. It's very hard to enforce without it. You can. I do it all the time, but it's hard, and we usually do end up registering it on the fly to get it in to give us a little bit more security. Because if you're not on the register, and if people don't know about you or they can't find you, now we can find most people on the internet, but say you can't or you don't come up on the first page of a Google search, then that person might think that mark is clear and start using it themselves. And now you have a problem.
If our listeners want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Probably by email, sfriends@riw.com.
With an
and
S
it's
on the
friends
end.
just like the TV show, yeah.